Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day and welcome to another video where today we are going to be talking about something that I would think would bring a lot of change to the game, and it would also make all the schools a lot more interesting to both play with in regular game and in PvP, my mans. It's lit! Yo, no, but like, actually, no, it kind of really is lit. Alright, so without further ado, my mans, let's get right into it. These are, right now, as of now, at this current point in time, the top 5 spells that aren't regular cards that I think need to be made into regular cards as soon as possible, my mans. As usual, guys, before I start, make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know, are there any treasure cards or like item cards that you've always wanted to see in the game as regular, enchantable, and usable cards? Because, you know, that's basically what this video is about, and I would love to see all the opinions in the chat. And I don't know, maybe we'll make another video saying, you know, seeing like, you know, what spells could work and what spells couldn't. Anyways, here's my list, my mans. Enjoy. Number 5 is a spell that right now is actually fairly rare. Not a lot of people even have the spell, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people didn't even know about it. I was really surprised that I even had a couple left over. But yeah, the Brûlé Sucré spell. I think the spell is really cool. And it kind of fits within life school in general, you know, like, if you guys didn't know, Wings of Fate just hits and heals, you know? But it's kind of cool that this is more a heal based than hitting based. So if you wanted to, you could enchant it with Primordial, you could enchant it with a regular thing. I feel like this would be a really cool idea, because at the moment, right now, the only overtime that life really has is Spinosaur. And the problem with Spinosaur is that a lot, like, I mean, I don't have the spell to compare because I'm a pleb. Alright, I have unplebbed myself. As you guys can see, half the damage in Spinosaur goes into the first hit. And the problem is, for an overtime, that's kind of rare. That really shouldn't be how overtimes work. Almost every other overtime in the game does a very small bit of damage, so you can remove a shield, and then the whole point of the overtime is that a lot of the damage gets done over time, you know? And it kind of sucks that Spiney's like this, so I think Brûlé Sucré being a spell would be really cool because it would give life more options. This might be slightly unbalanced for PvP if it came out right away. It would be a lot like Burning Rampage. It would be something that, like, you know, a lot of people exclusively use just by blading up, so I'm not so sure that the actual values should be the way they are, but I love the pip cost, and I love the theory that, you know, you can make a spell like this. So I want to see a spell like this, you know, like, obviously it doesn't have to do 500 damage and 900 heals. That's quite a bit. I do want to see something really similar to this because I think it would be a really cool addition to the game and life PvP in general. The number 4 most wanted spell is Legendary Treant. Now, I love Myth Banshee a ton, but I do think the reason Myth Banshee isn't like super overpowered is because, you know, one, it's a limited supply. Not everyone has 170 of them like my no life having ass. If you're not Myth, then it's 3 pips. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why this is like fairly balanced. I do think if this became a regular card though, I don't know, maybe this could work, because like, if you enchant it, it would do a lot, so I'm not so sure the stun is a good idea. That's why I think this is a better idea. I don't think it would unbalance the game as much, but if you enchanted it, it would still do a good like 700, 800 damage, right? And it would stun. I think this would be a really cool lead-in to a lot of hits, you know? It'll be a lot, it would have the same role as like Stormlord, or King Art for Fire and Storm, you know? Like, it would be a really cool thing, and I don't see why Myth doesn't have a lower pip hit and stun attack yet, and it would actually help Myth Wizards get faster to the punch, you know? I think it would change up PvP just a little bit, but not so much that it would be unbalanced. So yeah, I think this would be an amazing addition to the game. I don't know, maybe lower the damage a little bit, but again, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this idea. The number 3 spell is something that I feel like a lot of people have been talking about. You know, like, everyone, when they talk about the Storm School, everyone's always talking about how they need an overtime for Storm. And I don't see why Storm doesn't have an overtime. The whole point of Storm is that you should be able to hit a lot. Your damage output should be huge. So I don't see why, if all it takes is 1 set shield for a Storm Wizard basically to not be able to do much at all, you know? I think the problem right now is that Storm doesn't have overtimes, so they have no way of comboing properly. They can only just hit. There's no way to achieve more than one thing in one round at Storm, and this would change things a lot. Now, right now, the best overtime that we have to compare with is Stormhound. Now, I'm not sure I even like the idea of Storm just getting another Heckhound kind of spell. You know, I think there's a reason why this is just a treasure card and it's not an actual spell. What I think should happen, though, is maybe make Stormhound, but instead of making an X-Pip spell, make it, I don't know, 6 pips, maybe 5 pips or 4 pips. I don't know, something around a mid-pip range. If you do the math out, like a 5 pip, you know, 5 times 150, that's not that much for Storm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do about 1,000 with Triton on Storm, you know, when you enchant and stuff. So I don't see why 6 pips would be, you know, that crazy for Stormhound to do. There is another overtime that Storm can use, and they can use it using mutates. So if you have the mutate, the Fire Elf into Lightning Elf mutate, then you can make these. However, I don't think those are that great because you literally can't enchant them. So maybe if the actual Lightning Elf card became a real spell and you could actually enchant it, maybe that would be a really cool replacement too. I just don't like the idea of X-Pip overtimes for Storm because I just don't think anyone would use it if it was X-Pips because Storm needs pips. But I also think that, like, you know, right now Lightning Elf, not only is it extremely rare to even be able to get, it also doesn't do anything. It's simply to break shields, and I think it needs to do a little bit more damage than that to be viable. Now, this is like second place. The spell's like second place in what I want to see in the game in terms of spells being created. I really, really like the idea of this spell. It's a really cool spell, and that's the reason why I bejeweled it, my man. Rat of Poseidon. What a dope spell. You literally steal and then you hit. This is something that I think Ice definitely needs. I mean, I get it. Ice is really overpowered. You know, like, I get it. But this is a 9-pip spell, you know? I feel like it would be a really great finisher. It gives you another strategy that's not just Shadow Pip and Abominable Weaver spamming. And I think if you just made this into a regular spell and you were able to enchant it, I think you can do around 1,000 damage, you know, after you steal it. I think that's really, really good. It would be very balanced, you know, in terms of damage in the school. This really should be a spell, in my opinion. And I don't see why they haven't made moves to make a bunch of, like, you know, like Aquila-themed spells, like Wrath of Poseidon. Like, this would be really dope. I don't know why they haven't made the move for that. I really think it's a missed opportunity. But all I'm saying is this would be a really, really cool combo. And it would also, for me, it would make it so that, like, you know, I could blade up a little bit and know that even if someone shielded once, I could still hit right through it. You know, it'd be a really, really cool thing. It would change up the dynamic a lot. And I don't know, you know, maybe in the future if Shadow Pips become less important in PvP, this would be a really cool spell that would give Ice a unique edge in their own way, you know? That's all I'm saying. That's what I want to see more of, you know? Unique edges, my man. Now, the last spell on this list, the one that I really, really want added to this game, is so rare that I literally don't even have it. Now, at the current point in time, it comes as a triangle jewel. If you guys don't know this spell, I would not be surprised. It's a very rare spell to even see in PvP or anything like that. It's called Hades the Unseen Jewel, and basically it's I think the spell itself is called Wrath of Hades. Now, I'm gonna put it up on the screen because I don't have it, so bah! As you guys can see, this is a really, really cool, like, mechanic that we've never seen in the game. I would love to see this in the game. I think it's, this spell, if you can enchant it, is way better than Skeletal Dragon in some ways and way worse. And it's up to you to choose, you know, it's up to you. You get to choose, basically. I think it has obvious weaknesses. It can be easily triaged or shifted. So, and even if you're first, it can, you know, you just have rounds to react to it. So, I mean, for that reason, since it does no damage at all and it's high pips, it's a very high risk spell. If death is first and they use Hades and then use a bunch of death bats, you know, and so, you know, to prevent people from triaging, I feel like that'd be a really cool strategy. You know, you can just death bat right after doing it. That would be a really cool strategy. I would love to see something like that unfold. And again, it gives another non-Shadow Pip alternative to a lot of styles. And also, Skeletal Dragon's very overused. You blade up as a death, and you literally have two options. You either Shrike into, like, a shadow hit, like, or wait until, you know, your damage is so low that you Scion or something. Or you go for blading up into an overtime. And right now, the only overtime we have is Skeletal Dragon. And the problem with Skeletal Dragon, it's great. But if it's the only option, people are always going to know what you're going to do, you know? I think it'd be really cool to have another option, like Hades the Unseen Jewel, you know, the Wrath of Hades. I feel like that would bring a lot of cool, like, new strategies to PvP. I've never seen it used because it's a triangle jewel. No one wants to give up stats for it. but I just want to see it. I think it would be so dope. But you know what, my mans, my opinions are kind of cool, you know, that's why I made this video. But your opinions are super important too. If you guys enjoyed this list, let me know. Drop a like if you did and leave a sub if you're new. There's tons of links in the description if you want to get more involved in the community, but also make sure to let me know what spells you really want to see and how you might change the item cards or TCs that you're talking about so they might be better off, you know, in regular. I feel like a lot of these suggestions, it came with the warning, you know, treasure cards are pretty powerful, you know, like once they're a real spell, you can enchant them, so you got to make sure that it's not too overpowered, you know. So obviously, standard disclaimer, these are my ideas. These are definitely things that I've been thinking about, but I could be really wrong. So let me know what your opinions are in the chat, my mans. I really love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome, brother. And yeah, yo.